Well, coming up on March 8th at the Outdoor Center at 7:30 p.m. is the annual town meeting. This is a copy of the annual report here. Well done, of course, always great, including pictures, illustrations, and in-depth information about what's going on here in town. Of course, there'll be some elections that are going on. This will take place at the Outdoor Center, and Dave Cota is with us. He is, of course, the town manager of the fantastic town of Carrabassett Valley. Welcome to you, Dave Cota.
Thank you, Greg. Yep, thanks for having me.
Boy, you got a lot of stuff. This is a thick one right here.
Yeah, we try to do a pretty good job. You know, it's an opportunity for people to find out what's going on in terms of, you know, the local government here. You know, whether you're a seasonal homeowner or a resident, and or, you know, you know, we care, you know, a lot about trying to provide good information, being as transparent as possible, and you know, so it's you can go online right now as we speak, www.carrabassettvalley.org, and you can see this town report, and there's got reports about most things involving town government. You know, whether it's forest management at the Outdoor Center, the mountain bike program in detail. A lot of details you don't get elsewhere, all the department reports, you know, recreation programs, the library. It's really an opportunity to, you know, kind of look at some of the statistics and some of the interesting things, you know, that we do here. And we do some pretty amazing collaborations and some interesting stuff here. So take the opportunity, you know, we do try to put some time into this thing. You know, and
this is available online, as Andrew just showed, on the website, but you can pick up a hard copy if that's what you would prefer, right?
You can pick one up at the library or at the town office, or you can, we sneak a few under the counter at IOTS, you know, for folks to pick up. We only distribute so many. Right. You know, in the fall, we do the newsletter, which we send this out. This 3,000 copies of this get sent out to all of the taxpayers within the community. This is a little more involved, the newsletter, because it includes all of the nonprofits and all the organizations with town, so within the community. So it's really an opportunity for folks to really know, you know, what's going on, the larger picture within the community. So we really try to be communicative as possible. You know, the only folks that can vote at the town meeting, of course, are residents, but we do care a great deal about you know, the non-resident seasonal homeowners that live here, and again, they can take the time to read the town report. If they got questions, please, by all means, you know, be in touch with us.
So they'll be voting at the municipal offices from 8 until 6 o'clock, and then the town meeting. So if people have questions, they don't necessarily have to be a resident, do they, to attend the town meeting?
They can attend the town meeting. They can't vote unless, you know.
Right.
And you know, feel free, but they can't vote. That's the way of the world, so to speak. You can only be a resident in one town. Yeah, right. That's how it goes. You only vote one place.
And some of us wish we were residents here, but well, that's all right.
You know, that's right. But the meeting will be at 7:30 in the evening. Yeah. At the Outdoor Center, where there was 68 warrant articles to vote on. So
yes, there is, and let's dive into that package right now. There's lots and lots of things. Let's talk first about the town budget. Maybe you can start maybe with the Mountain Fire Station. Yeah,
that's one of the reserves that we're putting money in. In terms of the overall budget, you know, we spend about $4.2 million, and 2.2 of that is the municipal budget. 300,000 for debt service, about $1 million for education, and 700,000 roughly for our share of the Franklin County budget. So it all adds up to about 4.2 million. The good news is, again, we're so fortunate, there'll be no tax increase this coming year. Again, actually last year was a decrease from the previous year. So one of the things the Board of Selectmen and the Budget Committee like to do, if there is, I hate to use the word extra money, but if there's money available, they like to kind of keep the tax rate in an even keel, so to speak, and then put money in reserves and in current and future projects, which is what you alluded to in terms of the Mountain Fire Station. So they're putting money in reserves, are putting 80,000 into a Mountain Fire Station reserve. That right now the Mountain Fire Station, we own 2 bays of the Sugarloaf Maintenance Garage up here. It's not enough. Sugarloaf, I think, wants us to. They've got more equipment demands, and you know, it's time to move on and get a nice fire station up in the mountain area. So we're putting money aside for that. which we started last year. We continue to put money in the Recreation Endowment Fund, which is a story unto itself. The towns, since the early days in the community, put as much as $50,000 a year into a Recreation Endowment Fund that is used to match projects within the community, whether we built a new library, matched it with grant money, the original, the narrow gauge project when we rebuilt that, some of the nonprofits within the community, CVOA has used it to, for instance, for some projects at the shooting range. The mountain bike program, the club matches money with it, so we're able to do all these recreational programs with that fund. So there's money been put in that. Again, it's very unique. You won't see that very often. The town fathers knew that way back as when they formed the community back in the 70s. So those were some of the reserves. As far as some of the smaller projects within the community, we're talking about. We're maybe doing a backup generator, power generator, either the AGC or the outdoor center that would provide a emergency management, emergency shelter, because we really don't have a designated one. We're going to be updating our emergency management plan this year. The police chief wants an electronic messaging board that would be used on either 27 or the access road for upcoming events, traffic issues, whatever.
Joke of the day?
Well, I don't know about that.
I'm just kidding.
Put a new floating dock at the outdoor center. One an interesting one. So a couple of citizens came in and said, "Where do I get sand to put in my driveway when I got a freezing, icy driveway?"
Right.
And right now that's a problem.
Right.
You got to go to either try to sneak into the state garages, and they don't want you there. So we're talking about putting one at the transfer station that people would be able to, just a small 3-sided affair that could get 2 buckets of sand or something. So
Sounds sensible.
It does, and there's quite a demand for it actually. So, and folks would be able to do that. So that's another little project that we're doing. Obviously, we've got some bigger projects that we can talk about, but aside from the usual expenditures, which are not up much, we're doing some of the projects I just talked about.
Right. Now, also want to talk about some of the other capital projects and initiatives that are coming up, but first we'll take a break.